first time I've worn this shirt. Ah, it's itchy. Yeah. My parents got it for me when they were on vacation in, was it October? Was it October? Yeah, it was October 2018, so 6 months ago. That was, by the way, that was the month when I did that blitz of like 7 or 8 Collection DX video reviews. I did them all inside of that month. I did the recording then, and then I just released them over time. Anyways, this is the first time I'm wearing this shirt. What do you think? Can you see it? I don't know. I can't see it. What's going on? I can't tell. So this is the first time I'm wearing it, and ooh, I might have to change it. Eesh. Or I might have to wash it, actually, is what I'm thinking. You're not supposed to put on these shirts the first time without, wash it first or something like that. But I'm just that guy, so. Oh, and I still have a squeaky chair. Is this recording to the right place? Yes, it is. Okay, good. We don't want any F-ups like we did, was it two videos ago? Something like that. So, a couple of things happened in the last week. Game of Thrones ended. I haven't seen 5 minutes of that show, ever, and I know next to nothing about it, and I really don't care. Big Bang Theory ended. Thank God. My parents were obsessed with that show, and I was sick and tired of seeing it all the time. Maybe it's because I'm too close to the subject matter, but I can't say I was offended, but just like, ugh, so over the top, and but that's what sitcoms are supposed to be. I have seen a number of sitcoms in the past, and Big Bang Theory will never be one that I cherish. So like, I didn't like watching Big Bang Theory. Well, Ava, if you need to get your comic book superheroes on, did you see the trailer for the new CW's Batwoman? Unfortunately, I did. And that's all I will say on the matter. Let's see. What else has been happening? Star Wars has gone into the shitter. Oh, The Mandalorian came out. I don't know. Remains to be seen. Mandalorian, whatever. If it hadn't been made under the Disney brand, I wouldn't be as concerned about The Mandalorian. I'm just saying. But we also have good news. I think this was last month. I think this was in April when this happened. We got our title and our teaser trailer, except it's not a teaser trailer, announcement trailer, I guess, for Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. And it was met with a resounding, "Oh, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life." To which I responded, "Really?" And let's see what happened. Captain Marvel came and went. The less said, the better. Endgame came and went. As I've said before, I am so far behind on the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But if Captain Marvel is any sign of what the future is going to be like, I'll probably never mention it or watch it ever again. Yeah, I'd like to catch up to Endgame, but beyond that, if that's the direction Disney's going to be going, then I really don't care. And hey, they're not even interested in white hetero males anyway, so I guess I'm not the target audience for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, so I guess it doesn't matter if I watch it or not. Hey, no skin off my back. My mom got this for me in Mexico in, when was it? Was it 2003, 2004, something like this? Oh, this thing's been a godsend, I can't tell you. Let's see what else. The Orville has been renewed for a third season. Yes! Yes, yes, yes. Thank you, Fox. Thank you. You are quickly making up for the fuck up that you did with Firefly. I'm just saying. Like, I'm still upset about why you fucked around with Firefly, and I will be a brown coat forever as a result. But that being said, thank you, thank you, thank you, Fox Television, for bringing back the Orville for a third season. Thank you so much. Also, CBS Television announced that the third season of STD is going to be happening, in which point I said, why? Your numbers have been dropping since, well, you never had strong numbers to begin with, and they've been dropping and dropping and dropping and dropping, basically to the point of nobody's even watching the show. At least nobody who has ever been even remotely interested in Star Trek. And those who have never been interested in Star Trek, that is to say, people who are of reality TV level intelligence, like the editing of reality TV, like the scripting of reality TV, like the acting, the actors in reality TV level intelligence. They're like, oh, I never understood Star Trek until they dropped it down to my first grade level intelligence. Now I understand Star Trek. Thank you so much for giving us STD. And there's people like me. By the way, according to CBS television, I am a Russian troll because I dislike STD. Because I'm a longtime Trekker and I'm just a Russian hacker. I'm just a Russian troll. And I should be sued. Apparently. So, apparently I'm Russian now. Yay. What? That's the best they can come up with? Oh, I forgot. Yesterday, the announcement trailer for the new Captain Picard centered TV series, not like Next Generation wasn't, mind you, was announced and it came out and then there was this big fanfare and it 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 completely breaks the character. Now, 6 or 7 months ago, when they announced this distraction, this lure, this new toy, this desperate nostalgia move on the part of CBS Television to cover for the shitstorm that had been following their first attempt at Star Trek around for the last 2 years now, when they announced this new show, they said, well, it's going to be viewing Picard from a new angle you've never seen before. That is to say, they're completely rewriting the character into something we are not interested in whatsoever and has no connection whatsoever to Next Generation. You know, I have. I am an average Trekker, okay? I'm not a huge one. I've never done cosplay. I've been to one convention when I was like 10 years old. And even then, I wasn't there for very long. So I didn't get the actual Star Trek convention experience. You know, I didn't do that, okay? But, you know, I have a very good working knowledge of all five television series. Well, six if you include the animated series from the 70s, which I've only ever seen once. I wouldn't mind watching again. There's a lot of Easter eggs in there from the 1970s. There's Easter eggs in there, so whatever. Um, and you know, I have from the motion picture, TMP, all the way up to Nemesis. I've got those on HD DVD. This was in 2003 when I got all those, which means that's from before Blu-ray. Okay, so Blu-ray and HD DVD were just starting their rivalry around the time that I got those DVDs. So, you know, whatever. I don't need I don't need to re-buy the Blu-rays of everything. It's like I've already got the HD versions. Why do I need to get more? So whatever. And I also have the director's cut of Star Trek: The Motion Picture, which, if you're bored to tears with Star Trek: The Motion Picture, if you've only seen it once, maybe twice ever, and it was just boring, it was pedantic, and just going, I'm not kidding when I say watch the 2000. Is it 2001 or 2002? I think it was 2000. Yeah, it was late 2001 when it came out. Watch the 2001 director's cut of Star Trek: The Motion Picture. I'm not kidding. Unfortunately, it's not available in HD Blu-ray. It's not. It's not available, and it's not. It's not made for the televisions that we have today. Okay, it was made almost. It was made what 18 years ago. Okay, is when this director's cut came out. But it. Oh my God, 18 years ago? Jesus. Wow. Okay. So, I just realized that. So do absolutely watch the director's cut. Okay, absolutely, because they tweaked a lot of things. Okay, they unlike excuse me, unlike the vast majority of reboots, remakes, prequels, sequels, things like that. And even if you watched, was it Star Trek: The Original Series remastered version? Even the remastered version can't really match up with what they did with the director's cut of Star Trek: The Motion Picture. So it's like Star Trek: The Motion TMP director's cut was kind of a prototype, was a testing phase for what they ultimately ended up doing in TOS remastered. So, unfortunately, the HD transfers are not available for the director's cut. I mean, they've got all the models and they've got all the resources to do it. It's just, for whatever reason, Paramount Pictures, or rather CBS Television, hasn't given the go-ahead to release an HD version of the director's cut. So, Okay, completely distracted. So yeah, I've got TMP Director's Cut through Nemesis on HD DVD, and then I also have the 2009 reboot, and I also have Star Trek Beyond. I saw Into Darkness one time, and I hated it, and thank God it was a rental. So yeah, I'm not gonna, but I also have Star Trek Beyond. So which I'll make another quick side here real quick. Star Trek Beyond, even though it takes place in the Kelvin timeline, and even though I'm really, really not happy of with the previous two films, there's a lot of things about the Kelvin timeline I don't like. The Kelvin timeline films. Star Trek Beyond was a good movie. It moved away from the shittery that happened in the previous two films. Even though it takes place in the same universe, it's a different director, different writers, and they actually have their heads wrapped around correctly. So, Star Trek Beyond was indeed an acceptable, an absolutely acceptable Star Trek movie. I agree. It was good. Was it perfect? No. To be fair, Star Trek V: The Final Frontier is not a good movie, although I'm of the opinion that it's actually a diamond in the rough, but that's just me. Whatever. Um, yeah. And then I've got TOS Remastered Season 1, but I haven't been able to get the other two seasons, so whatever. But I can quote line and verse from many episodes and movies. Okay, so I'm of your average trekker. I'm your average ordinary trekker, so I can spit out trivia the same as anyone else. What was William Riker's father's first name? It was Kyle. I can do stuff like that. And he was in season two, I think. Yeah, something like that. Which was a weird. It was a weird episode. That was. But anyways, so I'm a trekker, and I've been a trekker since 1986, or is it 87? I think it was 87 when Next Generation came out. I saw the pilot episode, Encounter at Farpoint, with my own eyes on broadcast television, on Fox television, by the way. It was kind of weird time when you had Paramount Pictures didn't have the CW at that point. They didn't have UPN at that point, so they were broadcasting Star Trek on Fox. It was weird, and I don't know the details. But anyways, or at least it was on the Fox affiliate, whatever. So I've been in Star Trek more or less my entire life. I guess it'd be less than my entire life. Um, and I'm a fan. I know the rules. I understand what Ron Berry's Utopia sounds like. It sounds great. And STD's just nothing. So ST Picard, or ST Poop, as I'm inclined to call it, is not going to work. Hashtag ST Poop, hashtag in before. I Trekkers seem to be enamored with, oh, they brought back Picard, they brought back Picard. Do you even know why this show exists? I feel really bad for? I feel bad for Sir Patrick Stewart. You want to know why? I mean, I respect the guy. I don't know about his personal life. I don't really care. But his body of work is very impressive, and he's done a lot of good stuff. He actually deserves all those accolades. And by the way, if it hadn't been for Sir Patrick Stewart, we would never have gotten this. Okay? So, and we also wouldn't have gotten.
Sir, I know this may finish me as an acting ensign, but
Shut up, Wesley.
So yeah, we owe a lot. We owe a lot to Patrick Stewart, Sir Patrick Stewart. I'm sorry, no disrespect intended. But I feel bad for him because basically CBS is too many acronyms floating around. I'm sorry. CBS television is basically using this as a distraction from their first fuck up, and as a result, Sir Patrick Stewart is going to be used as bait, as a lure, and he himself is going to have his good name and reputation tarnished in order to cover up for CBS television's massive fuck up from 2 years ago that they are continuing to this day with their third season announcement of STD. So they're bringing us STP in order to deal with STD. And then there's also ST Section 31, which has not been announced, which has been announced, but they haven't done a trailer or anything like that. Um, yeah, so Star Trek is a mess right now. I don't know why they're going forward with ST Poop. it's not going to work. But all attract them is losing their shit. I'm like, do you even realize where this show exists in the first place? It has nothing to do with having one show running concurrently with another one because we had Next Generation, which was followed by Deep Space Nine, which was followed by Voyager, and they all ran alongside each other. In fact, the sets for Next Generation were struck in order to make room for the sets for Voyager. That's fair enough. Okay, whatever. That doesn't bother me. And then when Voyager finished, you had the disaster that was Enterprise. By the way, I should point out Enterprise has absolutely nothing on the massive shittery of STD or STP for that matter. I'm just saying, STP. Where have I heard that acronym before? Steve the producer, Stone Temple Pilots, something like that. Steve the producer is a local reference, so disregard. Um, so yeah, I'm not happy where Star Trek's going right now. You know, the ironic thing about it is I mentioned a couple of minutes ago Star Trek Beyond was a good movie. But about 6 months ago, they announced that there would not be a fourth Kelvin timeline, and that genuinely disappointed me. Like, you finally got my attention. You finally got me to like the Kelvin universe, and now you're telling me it's gone. Really? Thanks, J.J. Abrams. Thanks a lot. Oh, by the way, what good is it going to do to bring back the Emperor and Lando Calrissian and the Death Star 2 and I don't give a shit about Star Wars. I don't. The last new Star Wars anything I got was it Director Krennic's Imperial Shuttle or whatever it is, which I already mentioned in a previous video. I went looking for it. It's in the it's like another long unboxing or something like that. I talk about that. That's the last new Star Wars anything I got, and that was 2 years ago. By the way, Star Wars Rogue One or Rogue One: A Star Wars Story. I still like that movie. That was a respectable movie. Was it perfect? No, but it was better. Basically, anything after Rogue One, I don't give a shit. And my parents bought the HD Blu-ray of Last Jedi, which I've seen one time, which I will only ever see one time. I'm one of those Star Warsians who got burned by. I just shifted from Star Trek to Star Wars. I'm one of those Star Warsians who got burned by the prequel trilogy. So when what's it called, The Force Awakens came out, I was like, okay, all right, that's fair to say. And then I saw Rogue One. I was like, okay, that's a respectable homage to the original trilogy with modern day special effects and so okay, great. And then I saw The Last Jedi, and I'm like, okay, never mind. By the way, did you know that what's her name? Ellen Ripley is now a Disney princess? Think about that for a moment. Ellen frickin' Ripley is now a Disney princess. You'll never see her on marketing ever, but technically, yes, she is. Because if you think about it, the vast majority of Disney princesses aren't even royalty, either by birth or by marriage. None of them are. Most of them aren't even royalty, but they're called Disney prince. They're called princesses. So technically, yes, Ellen Ripley from freaking Alien is now a Disney princess. And who's the other one? I was just thinking of it. Oh yeah, Leia Organa. Leia Organa is now a Disney princess. Now I can understand that one. That would actually be a good one. It's a shame they got rid of the all marketing, all future marketing references or whatever it is for the slave bikini. Because my favorite Disney princess, Ariel, is technically she's bottomless. Technically, Ariel wore less than Slave Leia did, and yet for whatever reason, you'll see Ariel on frickin' everything, which does not displease me. But you'll see Slave Leia on absolutely nothing, which also displeases me for a different reason. So, yeah, did I bring out the MCU? Yeah, I did. I don't care. The Master Control Unit. Thank you very much. Or was it MCP? Master Control MCP. I'm sorry. I was trying to make a Tron joke there, and it failed. I've got the don't I? Yeah, I've got the soundtrack to Tron Legacy. Could have been better, but not bad. They tried to make a sequel to Tron Legacy. What was it, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, and it turns out they canceled it. They said it wasn't worth it. Um, Tron Legacy was not bad. It was a good starting point. Tron Legacy was a good starting point, considering that we had not visited the Tron world for 20 years, or is it 23 years at that point, something like that. Um, for a sequel to a movie that was already kind of sort of niche and questionably a cult classic, actually was a cult classic. Tron Legacy was not bad. I think they could have done a couple of things differently, but I would have supported a sequel to Tron Legacy. That's kind of how I feel about Pacific Rim. Pacific Rim was fun as hell, but the sequel was Pacific Rim Uprising was it was okay. Question: Should I do and should I do more movie audio commentaries? The only one I've done up to this point was for Pacific Rim 2013. 2000, I recorded in 2014. Do you guys want me to do any more of those? Let me know, please. Tell me in the comments. I'd appreciate that. Because I feel like there's a couple of movies I'd like to do as audio commentaries, but basically it was random people coming in and saying, "Nice clickbait." I'm like, what the hell? I said it was my audio commentary, not an official audio commentary. So I don't know why they're thinking clickbait. But it is one of the higher viewed of my videos. I think it is. Maybe I shouldn't say that. Maybe I should edit that out. Anyways, itchy nose. When my headphones are on, I don't know why. You know what I think it is? I think it's this older headphone is sending an electrical signal through my head, and it's making my nose itchy. I think that, like, genuinely, seriously, that's what it is. So, yeah, that's all the catch up stuff. What else? I'm not going to talk about what's happening in the Oval Office because even the Oval Office doesn't know what's happening in the Oval Office right now, and this is not that kind of channel, so I'm going to leave that alone. Oh, I completely forgot. Hashtag Trekkers for the Orville, hashtag I fight for Axonar. Is it I stand with Axonar? Maybe it's I stand with Axonar. I don't remember. I'm gonna have to double check what the official Axonar hashtag is. So anyways, yeah, that. Um, so I got this last Wednesday, but I haven't opened it yet. Y'all know how much a fan I am of the visual stylings of Bayformers, okay? Y'all know how much a fan I am of that. And I am an advocate for it, okay? And no, I still haven't seen Bumble yet, gosh darn it. And no, I have not seen The Last Night, and no, I have not seen Age of Extinction, so please no spoilers on those three. I know, I need to get with the times. Shut up. Anyways, there's also a lot of the MCU I need to catch up on. So, did I already say that already? So that being said, I'm absolutely thrilled with these Transformers Studio Series figures that have been coming out for a little over a year now at this point, and my first four examples have been met with mixed results. Some were good, some were not so good. But obviously, Voyagers are too small, Deluxes are too small, Leaders are too small, that whole thing. Um, but I still love the visual aesthetic. So I was pleased as punch when a couple of months ago, Takara Tomy and Hasbro announced they're going to be doing a Studio Series version of Bayformers Devastator. With the exception of what hangs below its legs, which nobody liked. I mean, absolutely nobody liked that. Not even the people who are not trans fans didn't like that. Okay, so nobody liked that thing. Aside from that, and the fact that they were not triple changers, even though they were, except they were like clones of each other, or Revenge of the Fallen is the weakest of the five films. Well, six, I guess. So, like, or at least I think it is, because I haven't seen Age of Extinction, and I haven't seen. I just freaking said it the last night, and I haven't seen Bumblebee, so I don't know when I said that. It's of the three films that I have seen. Revenge of the Fallen is by far the worst one, by far. But in any event, I enjoyed the design of Devastator. I'm sorry. What's wrong with me? I enjoyed Devastator, which is why when they announced this, I hopped on it immediately. Studio Series, what's he called? Scrapper? No, he's called Scrap Metal. He's one of the Constructicons, and He is a triple changer. He's not a standard two mode. He is a triple changer. He is indeed a triple changer. I am not going to be unboxing this, or rather, I debated getting this just because. Well, no. I mean, I debated unboxing this. I got it. Yay! I got it. I knew it was coming out. I didn't know when, but I jumped on it immediately. By the way, if you want to get your hands on the Transformers crossover with Ghostbusters, what's it called, Ectotron? The pre-orders are up for it right now. So jump on that while you can, because it's probably not going to be around for very long. So, Transformers. Like crossovers or whatever. It's just Transformers Ectotron. Checked it out. It's great. I want one. I really want one. Anyways, I saw this at a Fred Meyer's last Wednesday, and I immediately jumped on it. Speaking of Ellen Ripley, this is very much putting me in the mind of the Power Loader from Aliens. This looks a lot like that. But it also, as I understand it, the arms and the legs barely look anything at all like what they do in the movie, and that is to say, he was never in the movie. So there's concept art, which you can see over there. And as you can tell from this very blurry image, his arms and his legs are not really all that close to the concept art. I don't think that scrap metal actually appeared in the movie itself, or if he did, he was in the background somewhere. But in case you're wondering, scrap metal, or just, it's scrapper. It's freaking scrapper. Come on. Scrap metal it forms one of the arms for Devastator, or Devastator, as someone else online said. So I'm looking forward to this guy. So why am I not unboxing it? Well, I'm still debating. I just want to acknowledge right now that I have it. But well, that's a nice view of the face. It's a nice face. I like that face. I'm kind of thinking to myself right now, like, maybe I should sit on this until I get some of the other Constructicons. I almost said Devastators, which was wrong. Ichi knows again. God damn it. So, like, maybe I should wait. That's kind of what I'm doing, or maybe I should wait for like more than one of them to come out. So, but this is the only one they have on the shelves, and I jumped on it immediately. So, because like I don't know how it's going to be used in Devastator. I don't know what the final bot is going to look like. But I just like the appearance and the function of this figure by itself. It's real neat. By the way, the head and the torso are screen accurate or concept art accurate or whatever it is. Like I said, I don't remember if this guy was actually in Revenge of the Fallen. I haven't seen Revenge of the Fallen for many years, and I don't really relish the idea of revisiting it anytime soon. So that's why I say I don't remember if he's actually in the movie or not. We see one of these show up when Devastator combines, but I don't remember if we see him individually. I don't remember. So I got this last Wednesday. Yay, and I'm not going to open it right now. Boo. So, in other unboxing news, my plan fucking worked, and none of you were the wiser. You remember when I unboxed Diabattle's V2 Alpha Plus version? That thing over there? When I unboxed that thing, um, I never nailed down where I got it from. I told you that it cost $200, and I said, it's a repaint, which I don't really want. But I never told you where I got it from, and I also told you it was the only one left. Well, the reason I didn't tell you where it came from is because there was an accessory that I had wanted to get at the time, but didn't have the money to get it at the time. And so I shut my mouth in that video, and I shut my mouth in the video following that, or is this the following video, whatever it is. And I was hoping and praying that nobody would snatch up the last one so that I would be able to get the last one. And then as it turns out, I got the last one. Where did I get this from? I got this from tfsource.com. So if you look up this and the V2, or I'm sorry, the oh my gosh, Diabattle's V2 Alpha Plus versions on TF Source, you'll see that they're both sold out. Literally, I know this is true because when I bought these, when I bought both the Alpha Plus version and this, and I confirmed my order, I hit refresh and it said out of stock. So I know it is a fact I got the last one. So I am glad I kept my mouth shut up to this point. It worked. I was able to put it off for a whole month. I got used to Battles V2. I'm still having to put a lot of energy into not pushing in certain places, but on the other hand, there's just some parts of the transformation you just have to hang on to some areas, and you have to force joints in certain areas. Some things have gotten loose, some things have gotten tighter. It's kind of a mixed bag. So I said it was a 3.5. I think it should probably I think maybe I should just keep it at a 4. Like, it was good and the engineering is brilliant, but there's a couple of frustrating things in there. So it's like, so it's not a 5. Maybe I should just switch it from a 3.5 into a 4-star rating. Because, like I said, I hate nature abhors half stars. There's no such thing as a half star in nature. It's a very tiny box. Oh, they did that thing again where they only padded the top of the box but not the bottom. Which one should I do first? This one. This is a tiny box. Wow, that is really tiny. Okay, which one do I want to do first? That one's going to be messier, but this one is smaller. I didn't think about this. I will save this for later. I may end up doing a second video for this, considering how long that intro rant was about Star Trek and all those others, so I may save this for its own video. Or maybe what I should do is unbox this because it's smaller and then turn that into its own video. This is what's known as editing on the fly. I'm going to unbox this. And if I have enough time, if I don't think I've run out of time or whatever it is, then I'll unbox that. So I'm going to do the small one first. It took me a little bit of time to convince me to get one of these things. But I guess just because there was so much variety, you can kind of pick and choose which one you want. Which is the point, which is the whole point of that. So let's see, what is this one called? Powered System Set Type, or B Type. So this is one of those little super tiny powered armors, or powered suits. In fact, the back of the box here doesn't even show the one that I've purchased. Forgot to turn up the light. It doesn't even show the one that I've purchased here. This is a really tiny box. It just kind of tells you what you're getting yourself in for when the box is this tiny. I usually don't get boxes this small unless they're Cube Animal accessories. I'm just saying that those boxes were probably about half the size of this. I'm not even kidding. That's how small those Cube Animal boxes were. They were really tiny. Of course, they had something really tiny inside, so whatever. I mentioned when I unboxed the Big Power GV I.M.S. that it comes with these things, and is this Powered Suit E-Type, I think? And this particular color scheme is unique to the I.M.S, but the mold is unique to the Big Power GV. So this helmet arrangement and indeed these forearms are unique to the Big Power GV, I think. Someone's making me out to be a liar. Okay, so the head the head thing is actually unique. So anyways, yeah. And basically, the reason they made this is because the original Big Powered from the early 1980s, or was it late 70s? I don't remember exactly when. The original Big Powered, you could put a little figure on the inside of the chest, and it would fit in there just like that. Get in there. There we go. He was fighting me a little bit. Okay. So basically, you could put the thing inside the chest and fold it up, hide it on the inside, which is kind of a neat thing. But that wasn't even the main figure. That was actually powered armor for the Dia-nauts. The Dia-nauts were, like really flippin' tiny. By the way, there's a Dia-naut inside of here, so in case you need a refresher, I'll bring that up in a moment. Anyways, but the powered suits never really went anywhere with the original Diaclone. They just it was for Big Powered, the original Big Powered, and that was kind of it. And then you had Dia-nauts all over the place, but you didn't have the powered suit. So clearly when Takara Tomy went into Diaclone reboot, or are we I think it's Diaclone reboot. Although I'm inclined to think it's sequel at this point. Takara Tomy said, we've got a really. Did I cut this? No, I didn't. He basically said that we've got this opportunity here. Collectors like to collect these little army building things. So that's what this is. This is army building, which I don't army build. I don't. Oh, okay. We've got tape on all three sides. I've got the opening credits to. I was planning to bring this up earlier, but I forgot until just now. I've got the music from the opening credits of a fan made Star Wars film called I.M.S. The Relentless. I'll leave a link in the description to the first episode. It's a fan film and it's freaking genius. So the opening like actually 10 minutes. It's a 10-minute opening sequence, whatever it is. I've got that song going through my head right now. It's brilliant. Aside from the fact this is a really nice song. Anyways, moving on. Powered system set B type. I don't know what B means. I'll have to look it up. Whoa. That's a nice repaint. That's a repaint of Dia Battles V2 I have not seen before. It's basically Dia Battles V2, except it's repainted like the I.M.S. I was not aware that existed. Dude, if I'd known that, I would have gotten. Okay, I don't know how recent this one is though. Let's see, is there a year on this? There has to be. 2016? Really? No. Well, there was a stamp on it that said 2016, but that doesn't necessarily mean it was the year that this was made. Maybe it is 2016. This game. No, that can't be right. Diaclone Reboot came out in. Oh wow, that was so tiny. What am I getting myself into? Diaclone Reboot started in 2015, didn't it? Something like that. That's when Dia Battles V2 came out. So, God, I want that repaint of Dia Battles V2. Holy shit! I'll show you what I mean in a moment here. I more or less doubt there's going to be any need for instructions in this one, so whatever. I mean, there are instructions, but I doubt I'm going to be using them, so whatever. Well, what am I looking at here? Whoa! Oh, I know what that is. Okay. I was confusing myself for a moment there. Okay, so yeah, so the picture I was looking at uh, is not a repaint that came out. That's something else. I wonder if that was a prototype for um, Big Power GV I.M.S. But so like this picture was promoting the repaint of it, was promoting this version of the color scheme that ultimately ended up on the I.M.S. It looks like they were prototyping it on this picture here because it threw me off. But I know for certain, that 4 years later, almost 5 years later, that particular repaint never happened. So maybe they just shifted it over to the I.M.S., which is entirely possible. And the reason I say that is because they mention or they're showing here it's not the repaint. Let's see, how do I do this? This was used for the I.M.S., the Big Power GV I.M.S., but ultimately oops, other side. But ultimately, I can't see what I'm doing. But ultimately, they went. Jesus. Ultimately, they went with this version, which is I want to say this is the lunar version, like lunar Mars base, lunar base version of Dia Battles V2. So okay, confusion, crisis averted. Storage mode, open mode, powered mode, or no, I'm sorry, let me try that again. We have maneuver mode, mech mode, what? Integrate mode, and ride mode. What is ride mode? Huh? I don't know what ride mode means. Oh, okay, here we go. So this is the B type, and there's a bunch of them listed here. So B type means barrier type. So this is the powered system set barrier type, which is weird considering it doesn't have a shield on it. They have one with a shield on it, but that's not this one. Okay. So this is very shiny. So yeah. This is very glossy, by the way. That's what the reflections are. So I'm doing the best I can to kill those reflections, but my lighting here, unfortunately, is not the best it could be. I'll post a number of thumbnails, so I can show this off, or maybe I should just do that and not have to worry about it. So, anyways, there's two versions of this. There's the powered suit A type, and the powered suit B type. The one that I purchased is the B type, but as far as I can tell, it's just a repaint of the A type. Ultimately, this came down to which ones were left in the store, you know. So, I didn't want to get, and I don't know what it's called, but there's a version of the powered suits where you can attach additional accessories, excuse me, and you can make a what's it called? Like additional armor and weapons. You can turn it into a flying motorcycle or something to that effect. I looked at that one and I decided, no, these are too small. I'm not gonna like this. This is kind of for me. This is the experiment because this is a standard set as opposed to the one that I had where it was real tiny and it was just that by itself. But now I'm having an actual powered suit set. So I wanted to see what a set was like. By the way, this thing is $50. For as tiny as this thing is, this whole thing is $50. I'm not kidding. So these things get expensive really fast. You want to get four of them, that's going to cost you $200. I'm not kidding. So you need to buy these piecemeal. You need to do them one at a time. These are not cheap. This is not really army building. This is like, yeah, I'm gonna have to pull out Dia-battle's V2 Alpha Plus in order to show off all the features. Well, it's a good thing I have it, or I'd be concerned. But on the other hand, when this figure came out, oh yeah, I was looking for a date on these. On the other hand, when this came out, Big Power GV had not been released, either in the I.M.S. Destroyer or original versions. So the reason why they're only showing Dia-battle's V2 is because at the time, Dia-battle's V2 was the only one they had. Is there a date anywhere on here? I'd like to know a date. Ha! I knew it! There's no way I could have stumbled across that by accident. They put that there on purpose. You know what? I'm going to do the container first, because it is kind of an important thing. Oh my gosh, this is so tiny. How's my lighting? It's okay, it's kind of one-sided. Oh yeah, I was gonna set this up again. None of you commented on the new lighting that I had in the previous video, so like I'm just gonna keep doing it. That is right in my eye. That's better. So here's the, which way do I hold this? It's like this. Okay, so here's the cargo container, or whatever this is. It doesn't, raid chamber. Raid chamber. Let's see, I'm gonna hold it this way. So this is a raid chamber. Is anything like a drop pod? I doubt it. There's nothing aerodynamic about this. It's just a container. Whatever. Huh. It's completely blank on the bottom, but it's got one of those H-shaped impressions. You can attach things to the top of it. So for example, I can take one of these and I can attach it to the top. Now you're supposed to use one of the bullet fighters, but still you are capable of doing that. And then each raid container, or raid chamber, my mistake, comes with an accessory clip-on, but only one. And the reason they give you only one, which way does this go? It goes down this way, so you attach it like this. You attach it to the back like this. And the reason this is here is, aside from the fact that it's a convenient cover-up for these holes right here, anything on the bottom, anything on the top, yeah, it looks like you can attach it. There's a pair of joints. There's a joint on either side. And according to the instructions, whoa, eek. Oh, they actually ratchet. Okay, that's a strange choice. Okay. You can attach these in each raid chamber. I want to say container so badly. Each raid contain. raid chamber. Each raid chamber comes with one of these hinging things. And what you can do is if you get more than one raid chamber, you can attach them to each other like this. And the example they give here, maybe I should just show it. The example they give here is you can attach them in pairs, or you can attach them by threes. You can see there's actually three raid chambers right there, 1, 2, 3, and each one of them uses one of those little hinge thingies. So every powered suit set you get is going to come with one of these things. So that's what that's for. You know, I should have kept that in Battles Trizer mode, now that I think about it. That might have been my mistake. So this is a raid chamber. So I will just keep that attached on the back. And it opens clamshell styly. Opens to either side. They only open 90 degrees. There's a peg on the top and a hole on the bottom. Let's move on to the actual part of it. Ooh, that ball joint. That ball joint died when I was at the factory. Yikes. Okay. So oops. Let's work the kinks out. Come on. These are so tiny, you have to take your time with them. Okay, just gotta loosen it. Just gotta loosen it up like a Revoltech. And then Revoltech Wally came along and said, "Hold my beer." I got rid of that thing almost as soon as I was done reviewing it. What a disappointment. Like, I wanted to get Revoltech Wally, and I did get it, and it was great. It was a sampler, so it was free, and I kind of want my money back. But in any event, that goes there, that goes there. Okay. So this is essentially the same thing as the Powered Suit E type, which is extreme type as I understand it. It's exactly the same. Let's get some more lighting on it. Much more dynamic, kind of a bulky looking thing. The other one is kind of aerodynamic, and this one's more of an armored look to it. And the painting is subtle. There's some teal colored paint right here in the center, and that's it. But it's got the exact same articulation as the Powered Suit E type. And that is to say, it's ridiculous how much this thing can do. You can even have it cross its arms across its chest if you want to. Let's see, I'll demonstrate that right now. And the fists, or the wrists, are on a swivel joint. Oh my god, I made him dab! I wasn't even thinking about that. I made him dab. My mistake. I was not trying to do that. I wasn't. I was just trying to show how the arms can. That light is in a bad place. So I got the light a little closer. There we go. That helps. That gives me room to work with. So yeah, I made him dab. That was unintentional. Freaking dab. Left shark and all that good stuff. So yeah, his arms can cross that way, and then you can actually take the shoulder. You can turn it all the way back because of how it transforms. You can pull the shoulder all the way back. But that's for the transformation into the different modes, whatever it is. And then he's got a ball joint at the ankles, ball joint at the hips, double or single knee joint, double ankle joint. It's ridiculous the poses you can get this thing into, but it's really tiny. This thing lost its friction almost the instant that I pulled it out. So it'll be able to hold its pose just because it's so small. It won't be an issue, but that being said, majority of these joints lost their friction as soon as I got it. So, and unlike the Dia-nauts themselves, there's no metal in the feet, so you can't attach them to anyone. Or you can peg them into things, but you can't use metal on them. Speaking of Dia-nauts, I haven't seen this color scheme before. And again, this is 1/60 scale. So you put 60 of these on top of each other, and you get the actual size of them. And you still can't see the light. So that's the Dia-naut. And again, Unlike all the animations, his face is exposed. He doesn't have a black visor covering his face. He has eyes, nose, and a mouth. So he can bend his knees. Does he have metal? Yes, he does. He's got the tiniest of pixels in the bottom of his feet. One thing the elbows cannot do is this. You can't bend the elbows out to the side. So it's like this, but there's a ball joint in the shoulder. There's a ball joint in the shoulder. Right? Is there? Well, there is, but it's kind of limited. So it's more like the shoulders can only kind of go out like that a little bit, and that's about it. So it's ironic. The pirate suit actually has more. In fact, the only thing the pirate suit can't do is turn its head and its waist. That's it. And even then, it kind of has a waist joint. So yeah. So, yeah, there's another Dia-naut, very very tiny. This one is dark gray and orange. I almost want to say it's black and orange. I'm not sure. Orange is the new black. I've never seen that show and I don't care. Although it does have Kate Mulgrew on it. For those of you who don't know, Kate Mulgrew was Captain Catherine Janeway of the Federation starship Voyager. Back before we needed Mary Sue's and feminist politics took over, I should point out. That was before then. So it was actually legitimate back then. Ooh, his elbows are pointing in a direction that's not healthy. Guy's so tiny. So difficult to work with. By the way, I should point out for big powered GV I.M.S, I never put a Dia-naut into the cockpit of the powered suit. So this is the first time I've ever done this. And it's very, very tiny, but yes, he does fit in there. And then you close this up around him, and voila. And you'll never know he's in there. Ever. Because he's so well hidden in there. He's kind of like a. Oh, it's not Vodums. What was it? What was it? It's not Vodums. Dogram? 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 Is that it? I don't remember. Their whole shtick was powered armor. So yeah. By the way, I should point out this thing pops open really easily. It's not even snapping. Let's see. Oh, it does snap, but it snaps going when you close it, but it doesn't hold. It pops out really easily. So that's the reason. That right there is the reason why my powered suit E type from the big power GV I.M.S doesn't have any of the Dia-nauts in here. It's because well, this thing pops out real easily. But yeah, he's in there. Trust me, he's in there. Now I'm going to remove it, and you'll never know the difference. Actually, you will know the difference. So this set comes with a little tiny rifle, double-handed rifle, whatever it is. There's a peg on the front, or I'm sorry, there's a peg in the back and a peg in the front, so you can actually dual wield it if you want to. But there's also a peg on either side, so you can actually have it wheeled. You can have it hold it like this. So you can hold the rifle like this, or you can hold it to the side, or you can hold it to the side. That's what you can do with it. Which basically means you can plug it in just about anywhere you want to. The reason it's got two handles on it is, or two grips on it, is so you can plug it into the hands. The friction's not bad, by the way. Fits in fairly easily. I'm not going to get this into any significant poses just because, well, I've already used up my DAP. So you can see he's holding the rifle there with the one hand. There we go. I keep forgetting there's this light down here, so it's like, I'm going to get it as close as I can. Oh, yeah, I've got a light here. So, yep, there's that. And then the reason it's got pegs on the sides, you can attach it. Whoa, careful now. Technically, you can attach it to his left thigh, but, a rifle attached to a thigh is not really the best thing you want to do. It makes it a little difficult to hang on to. Makes it difficult to pose it, too. But the friction's good, so it'll stay on there. Or you can peg it over his shoulder. So even though it's a rifle with like bullets or whatever it is, I suppose you could treat it like a grenade launcher of some kind, or something along those lines. So yes, you can peg it in right there. Can you peg it in? Oh, yes, you can. Give me a moment. You can kind of sort of peg it in under the arm. There's an extra. That leg does not look good. But I'm going to stretch the arm out so you can see it better. You can actually peg it in underneath the arm. So some under the arm wielding action, which is satisfying. It doesn't fit very well though. Like you can do that. Maybe I should use the main. There we go. Okay, so that's a little better. So you see, can peg it in under the arm. God, I wish I could refocus this webcam. I really, really do, because like I'm showing you all these things and it's just not working. I don't even know if I can find enough pictures to supplement, so sorry. So yes, you've got that rifle. I don't think there's a description, the name of it. It's just a rifle, whatever. Yeah. By the way, this is called maneuver mode. That is to say, it can move around. Okay, and then the other accessories, or the last accessories, almost, is a pair of, you guessed it, over-the-shoulder cannons. Now, unfortunately, these over-the-shoulder cannons, they don't point straight forward. They're actually angled upwards. But they are asymmetrical, meaning one is specifically meant for the left side, one is specifically meant for the right side. So you can attach a pair of over-the-shoulder cannons, and they peg into those same holes I was mentioning a moment ago. So he can hold them. I think it's a he. He can hold on. Well, the pilot is a he. He can hold on to the rifle like that. Although the rifle is set off center, so yeah, I guess it'd be kind of like holding it sideways. But I can verify that the cannon barrels do indeed have cannon barrels. They actually go through a little bit, so that's nice. I'm not going to do a lot of posing with these things. This might be the first instance in a very very long time of me purchasing an action figure, because that's what this is. Very very long time. So yeah, I'm not going to get him into a lot of great poses or anything like that. So here's the. God, I wish I could refocus my camera. I really do. I wish I could change the focal length. But anyways, here's the powered system set B type. What's it called? Barrier type? Yeah. Why would they call it barrier? It has nothing to do with shields or barriers or anything like that. I don't know. So, yep, there's that. Yeah. It's so tiny. It's not even 2 inches tall. That's the thing. Like if it was 3 or 4 inches, I wouldn't be complaining as much. But it's not even 2 inches tall. Scant few centimeters. Yeah, I was just looking at the length of what I've done so far, and it's almost 40 minutes at this point. So yeah, I am gonna break this up into 2 videos. Sorry, didn't wasn't intended that way, but that's just how it turns out. And that's 40 minutes unedited. It's raw, just continuous recording. It's not even how I'm gonna shrink it down, because there's a couple of things in here that you don't need to see. What you do need to see though is that I'm going to take the butt, and there's a tiny little track right there you can see. You're going to take the butt and you're going to slide it upwards. So that instead of being attached down by the crotch or down by the butt, it's now attached by the upper back. This is not something I would ever do, but there it is. So, yeah. Oh, let's see. Oh, it's so tiny. It's so tiny. And again, this is why I bought it. I mean, for $50, which, yeah, is a lot. The reason I bought this was just to see if it's even worth it for me to get more than one. Because I had, the one from the Big Power GV I.M.S, but I wanted to see what a set is like. Rather, I wanted to see if my fingers were still too big for this. So, on the inside of the cockpit is a big black spot. Turns out that's not the case. It's actually a reclining chair that hates fingernails. So what you want to do is tilt that upwards, because reasons and things and stuff. And then you're going to put your Dia-naut into ab crunch mode with his tiniest of friction joints and whatever. need tweezers, but this essential trimmer would ban me from would forbid me from using that. I'm not blaming them at all for doing this, but it's just the physical size of the thing is so tiny, and I'm 6'2", so this is. I'm gonna hang on with the other hand. This is what's this called? Mech mode. So it's more of a pod thing rather than humanoid. It's more of a pod at this point. It's pod with a little rain roof on it. You know, I don't even know why they put little foot protection thingy tab on the thing, or not a tab, but a tiny little panel that folds up into expose his feet. I don't even know why they bother to hinge that, because it's usually closed anyways, and they could just step out easily enough. Whatever. So that is mech mode. So then there's something called ride mode and hangar mode, which are essentially the same thing. So again, I mean, really, the big difference, aside from the positioning of the limbs, the big difference is you just push the seat back, and that's really, and then you slide the hips. That's the only difference between the modes. Beyond that, it's exactly the same. I'm about this close to putting. Oh, I just noticed the ride carrier or ride container. What is it? Ride or ride? What's it called? Ride chamber. I just, excuse me, suddenly hiccups. The ride chamber doesn't have a magnet on it, and it doesn't come with one either. Because on the previous two sets, it was a little sticker sheet of magnets, or magnets with adhesives, and this didn't come with any, unless I accidentally dropped it, which I doubt. Oh, look, my tiny half-inch figure isn't fitting properly. Oh, noes. And ride mode is just collapsing the arms and legs down. The arms set up a little differently, rather than the way I knew it from the Powered Suit E type from the Big Power GV. Is the shoulders fold backwards, and then the forearms come in like this. But that's not what this is doing. What it's saying is the shoulders go back because of transformation. Humans can't do it. So the shoulders go back, but then what they want you to do, crash. But then what they want you to do is put the arms back like this. This is what they're wanting you to do with it, which is different from how it was. Because with Big Power GV and Dia Battles V2, the forearms act as a grip for a track that you bump into. But for storage mode or ride mode, I'm sorry, hangar mode and ride mode, you put the arms back. It's probably to make the profile as narrow as possible. That'd be my guess. Yeah, this is a yoga position I'm never going to ever hope of being able to recreate in reality. No, I cannot do this. No. It's so tiny, folks. I cannot emphasize this enough. So tiny. Oh, you pegged it. There's I forgot about this. There's little pegs that stick out of the heels, and you have to plug those heels into the crotch. Okay, so that's how it's stabilized. Okay, all right, okay, all right, all right, all right, okay, all right, all right, okay, all right, all right. That's my best Leo gets right there, by the way. Not like you guys are going to be able to see this, because again, pixels. But there is ride and hangar mode. And you can see there kind of the color of the pegs on the heels plugging into the crotch. And they just peg in sideways. So this is what you do to set it up for when you put it into storage mode. Or hangar mode, I guess. So keeping him in there, it's time to pull out the raid chamber. Why is that so difficult to remember? So here's the raid chamber. I'm going to put the weapons in first. I should point out that all the weapons are the same color as the raid chamber. Yeah, how's that supposed to fit? What? Did they oh, I plugged it in the wrong place. My bad. There's 4 pegs on the rifle alone. Of course I was bound to screw it up at some point. But the question is, can I close these and not have any conflicts? Wow, it actually does fit. Color me impressed. Okay. I didn't know how they were going to do it with this one. So I don't know how well you can see it, but there's the rifle right there, and there's a cannon behind it, and then there's the other cannon over here. There we go. You can see it a little better if I tilt it downwards and actually take advantage of the light. You know, if I had the light positioned like this, or maybe down here like this, I can't see. If I had it positioned down here like this and shining up into my eyes, which would be annoying as hell because LEDs, you'd be able to see this a little better. But I don't want to have the light in my eyes all the time. No. So having it down here is kind of the best option I've got. Okay. So anyways, there's all your weapon storage. It has kind of an alien look to it. Just the color of the plastic and the color like these LEDs, they're white, but for whatever reason on my screen they're coming across as blue. So it's weird. So anyways, stick this, and there's a peg. There's a hole behind the head. Between the shoulders there's a hole, and then there's a peg right smack in the center. And there you go. And then close it up and start. That right there, ladies and gentlemen, is $50. That is $50 right there. That's a very expensive Kinder Egg, I'll tell you that. Kinder Egg? Yeah, Kinder Egg. That's right. I've never gotten a Kinder Egg, but I can imagine Kinder Eggs are nowhere near as expensive as this. Like, I would expect this to be. I mean, this is the kind of thing you get in a Jiffy Crap machine, or whatever you call them, a UFO machine, or whatever, where it'd be like, $3. That's what I would expect. But no, this is 50 dollars. Good lord. So here we have Battles 2, Battle 02, and you can attach. Is this facing the right way? Yes, it is. Ooh, that doesn't fit very well. There's like no friction on here. So technically Battles 02 can carry one of these, although I wouldn't advise doing that for very long. Let's see, can I put it on the bottom of this? Maybe I can. Yeah, because it's H-shaped. Yes, you can. And then put the little foot down, which puts it under stress. You don't want to do that. I don't remember if this vehicle has an individual name for it, but you can attach the cockpit of, is this Battle 03? You can attach this like this, and you actually can't remove it unless you push on the button there. Then it'll come off, which sets you up very nicely for scenarios where you friction. You can do pod drops or drop pod scenarios, I guess. So here we have Glide from Dia Battles V2. It's exactly the same. The only difference is you take this off. Now here's the part where you actually slide the arms. You remember how I was saying that the forearms are placed in the back? Well, this is the case where you place the arms up against the sides now. And the forearms have little pegs of their own that actually peg into the waist. So those are solidly connected there. I'm going to lose this Dia-naut. He's going to slip out, and I'm not going to notice. I'm going to sit on him, or I'm going to stand on him. So anyways, all we're going to do, ordinarily for Glide, is like this. You take this off, and you slide this in on the exact same joint. Slide him all the way back like this. There's a little bit of gap between this gray bar here, and you can see that gap in there. But anyways, this is called integrate mode. Now, integrate just means you're integrating the powered suit B type or Baker type into one of the other modes. So it's not that if you put the B type with Glide that this whole thing is called integrated type. This is still Diabattle's V2 Glide with with integrate mode. So it'd be like it would be like saying what is it? Diabattle's V2 Glide integrate mode is probably what this would be called. So anyways, yes, you can attach that in there, and I could easily do it with the E type, the Echo type from Big Power GV I.M.S. I could have done exactly the same if I wanted to, but I'm just doing it here to point out, yes, you can actually attach that in there like that. And it functions exactly the same. The only difference is you just don't have a cockpit. Instead, you've got this little guy sitting here. So, yes, there's Glide with the Baker type in there, or the barrier type. It's called barrier type. Phonetic alphabet, Ava. And GG knows, because, why not? Okay, so here we have, whoa, almost. So here we have Battle's Trizer mode. And what you can do is you take the raid chamber and the hip joints, or the the thigh connection points, I guess. So you can place these forward. Yeah, let's place these forward. We're not worried about aerodynamics. No, not at all. But you can plug, if you had another one, you could plug it in on the other side of Battle's Treasure. Whoa, shaky. Hello. It's because I was holding it at a bad angle. So you get a second one, a raid chamber. Stick it right there. So yes, you can attach it in that fashion. Oh, wait, no, I didn't fold the engines forward for. Whoa. A couple of months, or 2 months have gone, or a month and a half has gone by, and it's still difficult to hang on to Battle's V2. But I'll address that later. So yeah, you can attach the chamber there, or actually, it fits on there purely with friction. There's no snap. I mean, you can tilt it up and downwards, but I don't see any reason for you to. So whatever. If you have just a single one, why is that having so much trouble sticking on there? Really? Oh, there's a little nub in there that I missed for the last month and a half. Okay. So, well, in my particular case, it'll gingerly snap under there. No, it won't. It really doesn't want to go in there. Well, it does. I mean, that's what it's designed for. But there's a little deformity in there I didn't notice before. So, technically, yes, you can attach this to the nose of Battle's Trizer mode. Technically, you can do this, but just mine quality control, mine will not fit. So. However, the main reason why I got the powered suit barrier type is because I just really, really, really want to attach it to powered vehicles 4 and 5. This is what it's meant for. This is what this gap in the back here. The reason this hangs off like this, it is meant for that right there. I needed to complete the big power GV I.M.S in some fashion. I needed to explore the full functionality of the thing, and it was specifically designed to interact with these raid chambers. So I had to get at least one example. So you can attach the raid chamber to the back. It opens up like this, and you'll find, oh, there's actually nothing in there. So it's just hauling around an empty metal container. Who knew? So you can attach it like that. Fortunately for me, to save time, I actually have two of them. Ooh. So I'm going to attach this to the back. You could also do it when, I think it's, oh, what was it called? Battle mode or something like that, where you fold up, you hide this front tractor assembly and the back one's folded up, or maybe it's attack mode, something like that. So anyways, yeah, Big Power GV comes with two of these. Or you could get that one accessory set that comes with two of these without the cockpits, and then it comes with a command vehicle. So you can attach these two and bump them up against each other. In any event, you can attach the raid chamber. I almost said a salt container. What? A salt container. Where have I heard that before? So anyways, you can put this on the back here like this. And if you want to, you can extend this arm, flip it over, and then you can pull the guy out of there if you want to. But I'm going to push that back in because it's very thin and fragile, a bit like the wings on Big Power Dia Battle's V2. so tiny. I know it's getting repetitive at this point, but it's true. This is very, very tiny. Why'd you get it? Because it's fun, that's why. Why'd you spend so much money? Because it's fun, that's why. I should point out this connection point. I totally can't remember what this thing is called. Did they have a name for this? I don't remember. I don't care. Anyways, this doesn't really go anywhere. You're just supposed to set it off to the side. Maybe you put it back in the box. I don't know. I mean, this is present in case you want to get more than one rain chamber and put them all together. Otherwise, this is kind of on the useless side. Just sits off to the side a lot. And so here you can see powered suit barrier type. Let's get this crane out of the way. Can fit inside. Can peg into the center of the powered. Is that right? Powered number 4. Yeah. There's a big old peg right there. And then there's also, let's see. I know that there was weapon storage. Let's see if that's true or not. These, wait. Oh no, it's on the wrong thing. Okay. Flip it around. There's 4. You can see there, there, and there. There's 4 holes. So what you can do is you can use them and peg. Ooh, the friction. Yes. Get in there. Aside from actually keeping the weapons inside of the raid container itself, I'm doing this just to say you can do this. Yeah. So here you can see the weapons have been added in here and here. So this is what powered vehicle 4 and 5. This is their full potential now. So you can turn them into a repair facility, storage facility, whatever it is. You can also haul the stuff around all over the place. You see, this is the reason why I love these little ones so much, is because they do so much stuff. And then, of course, you can point the claw downwards like that. And you can do bzz, bzz. You can't see it. Bzz, bzz, bzz. You can do that whole thing. So, yeah, that's why I got that's why I got this thing. I was sorely tempted to put it into I think it's called base mode. Show that thing off, but I think you kind of get the point because it's basically this. Actually, I can show you. If you put it into base mode, if you put Big Power GV I.M.S into base mode, pretty much you end up with. There's nothing to say you can't do this, just by itself either. So, oops. There. So if you're going to do base mode, then you would have it set up in this fashion. Close those up. But I mean, to be fair, you can actually do it just like this if you want to. The only difference is the cockpit's the bridge section, I guess, is sitting up here. So you can do that. They're so versatile. I freaking love these things. This is great. He does have little tabs on the bottom of his feet, so the question is, why would they put those pegs there if they didn't want you to use them? Oh, it doesn't go in there? Really? There's 2 different types of holes in the bottom of the feet, and you're telling me it doesn't fit in any of those? Really? Now there's that big old peg right there that you plug into the back. So you can kind of stand, but oh, that's disappointing. So really, there's only one peg you can take advantage of. That's disappointing. I could have sworn you could have put the feet of the powered suit barrier type into ooh, but I'm just using the peg that ordinarily you attach to the back, and he's just barely sitting in there. And well, like I said, the friction's kind of dead in the thing. So yeah. So technically, yeah, you can attach the guy in there if you want to. Have the crane arm hold him upright or something like that. And I could do exactly the same thing with the, maybe instead of talking about it all the time, maybe I should just actually show it. Friction on this is a lot stronger, I'm just saying. And that was stronger out of the box, too, I should point out. Maybe it's because it's a repaint, I'm not sure. But, I mean, the engineering is identical, so why it is that this. Maybe that's the issue with army building, is the quality between the different figures changes over time, and the different repaints and stuff you do. I don't know. See the 2 holes in there? In there? Wow, I doubled up. Okay. See those holes in there? Yeah, I don't know what those are for. Strange. Okay. Say it again. I love these things. Um, Aside from being, you know, of questionable friction, and I was mentioning it a moment ago, I was going to compare the two. So here's, ooh, his ankle is twisted at a very unhealthy angle. So here's the one I bought, and here's the one that, well, actually, technically I bought both of these. So they are exactly the same molds with the exception of the faceplate. That's the only difference between them. And the colors, of course. So here's the extreme type, or is it experimental? I think this is the extreme type, and this is the barrier type. So basically, Echo and Bravo. Yep. So that, I mean, that's the reason why I bought this thing, is because I wanted to fulfill the potential of all these different combined forms and actually take advantage of what the thing was designed for. How many of these combined forms can I do without the weapons? You can't really. You need to disconnect the weapons, so that's a bit of an inconvenience. And I specifically chose this one because A, I like the color scheme, and B, because it actually had additional weapons. But C, it didn't have wings and additional gloves and additional boots and a backpack and chest armor and stuff like that. Like I just wanted to keep it simple. I want a basic set that has a couple of small standard sized accessories. Now there's another version of this where the cockpit is not is a little more open. The visor is a little larger. Obviously different colors. Each and every one of these is a different colored version. But the front torso is shaped a little differently, and the arms are shaped differently, so you can actually pull off the fist and then attach a different weapon to it. There's a couple different versions that I'm going to be showing off here. Um, I was really tempted to get a couple of those, but eh. I should point out that the blue that's on the barrier type, powered suit barrier type, the blue that's used here is it's almost the same shade as the big powered GV I.M.S. It's almost the same shade, not quite. So in the animation for the big power GV standard version, not the I.M.S, but the standard version, it came with, or it showed off that you can attach a powered suit to the back of powered 03. I guess I can't do this the way they did it in the animation because in the animation it tilted kind of weird. Can I tilt it forward? No, I cannot. I can't do this at all the way they did in the animation. Boo. You can have the powered suit, any of the powered suits, that have these types of arms, you can have it controlling. Was this powered 02? Powered 02, or no, this is powered 03. I'm sorry, this is number 3. Integrate, and again, I showed it with Diabattle's V2 Glide. That is also technically integrate mode. But integrate mode just means you're integrating the powered suit into one of the other sets. That's all that integrate means. So in here you can see he's also piloting powered 03 in mech mode. This might have, I don't remember what the name of this mode is, but I mean, it just shows you can. And it actually, I kind of prefer the colors on this versus the other one. You know, like the blue is, it's a different shade of blue. It's definitely a different shade of blue, but it doesn't have the red and the orange and the silver on it. So, yeah, you can integrate it in there like that. Yeah, I just flipped that open. You know, my finger slipped. This popped open and then immediately went back down. If this had been upside down, the Dia-naut would have fallen out and I would never have noticed it. He would have fallen on the carpet and he would have disappeared and I probably would have rolled over it. So that's the reason why the Dia-naut's going to be going back in. I mean, even though it's part of this whole thing, that's the reason why I'm going to be putting the Dia-naut back into. Oh, I just realized. Here's powered 01. You can also, again, the only difference is the front of the torso and the head. That's the only difference, which means you can just as easily take this guy. I didn't attach it properly. I'm sorry. I was so quick. So anxious to get it in there. So I think, unless I'm mistaken, you should be able to get it all the way in there. Yeah. Okay, so there you go. So it is possible to get the you can put any type of powered suit in there that you want to. It doesn't have to be the one that's provided. That's the whole point of it. Or if you want to make things extra interesting, I can remove this. I still don't like the way there's no way for you to get a good enough grip on this thing and pull it apart. That's still a problem. I should be saying 9 months later or 10 months later again, I guess. But I don't like the way that pegs in there like that. Anyways, or not how it pegs in there, but rather how you need to remove it. You're putting pressure in places it shouldn't be. Anyways, and there it is. The cockpit opened again. You can attach it to the front of that. It actually looks better in terms of the color scheme. So yeah. I'm under the impression that the B type, just because of the way the catalog that they show here, because of this thing, I'm under the impression this is kind of a special forces kind of thing. So, since the I.M.S, the Independent Mobility Squad version of the Big Power GV, is also kind of sort of special forces thing, this actually makes more sense to have the coloring, set up in this fashion. Are there any others I can plug this into? That's not to say I can't, but I'm kind of running out of things to plug it into, just to demonstrate that it can be plugged in. Oh, I just thought of another one. Powered 02. You can take one of the containers and you can stick it. Whoa, is that? No, it's not. You can take one of the raid chambers and you can attach the raid chamber to the back. So you can do that if you so desire. There's nothing wrong with that. And the H clip, hopefully it actually works this time. You can take that H plug on the top and plug it into the bottom. Oops, I have it on backwards. What are the odds? Shit. I was just about to start. I was just about to start bragging. Somebody doesn't want me to brag. Okay, I hear you. I hear you. Yeah, the friction's not great on these H connector points. It's really not. But also, I've attached the. Is this the bullet fighter? Yeah, I've attached the bullet fighter to a number of different things over time. So, but in any event, there's two ways that Powered 02 can hang on to a raid chamber. You can attach it to the back, or you can attach it to the underside. Yeah, I'm definitely splitting this up into two videos. Somehow I knew this would happen, but when I was hopeful I could show both at the same time, but considering that 20-25 minute rant, however long it was at the start, I was like, yeah, as I'm filming, yeah, I'm going to have to break this up into two videos. Speaking of ABCD designations, um, Bandai recently announced. I know I have a Takara Tomy figure in my hands. I'm talking about Bandai. Sorry. Um, Bandai has begun to release, finally starting to release 144 high grade versions, or no, I think they're called real grades now. 144 high grade, real grade. I think they're high grade of the Gundam F90. Wow, that speaks to my childhood. That for those of you who don't know, Gundam F90 was like Seed before Seed, where the hero's mobile suit, the actual Gundam, it's a Gundam in name, had a bunch of accessory packs that could be attached to it. Well, there were 26 accessory packs, but only now because F90 was MSV. There was no anime, there was no movie, there was no animation period of it. So being able to see the Gundam F90 with the F type and the A type and the D type and the S type, oh man, I am so happy to see the F90 getting some love after all these decades of waiting. It's a shame about them being all 144 scale. I'll never be able to get it. Win some, lose some. Anyways, speaking of accessories, yay, get it. I mean, don't get me wrong. This is incredibly expensive for what you're getting. I suppose I should open this up just to acknowledge the guy is in there, still in there. He's going to be going back in the box. Just because, like I said, I've been terrified this whole time of dropping him out accidentally, unintentionally, and not realizing it. So yeah, I like this. It's expensive though. For what you're getting, or for the size of what you're getting, it's very, very expensive. But yeah, absolutely get one of these things. I mean, I wouldn't have minded getting the one that had like a pistol and a big riot shield of some kind. I wouldn't mind getting that one. I also looked at the orange, the red or orange colored one. There's one that has like drills and claws for like excavation and rescue type stuff. So they have something like that. I mean, there's a whole bunch of these things. But I just wanted to start simple and see what happens. Am I going to get another one of these? Probably not, because the whole point is to army build. I might, keyword might, get one more. I'm not sure. Although I must admit at this point, I'm getting tempted to get a Waruder. You know, I've got, well, now three kits from Diaclone Reboot, and I don't have any of the Waruder. So, and the Waruder are even more about army building. You know, so there's like two variations of the Waruder where they're actual unique kits, but they're I mean they're the Waruder are treated like these things. You know, you got the Waruder himself itself, and then you've got the kind of worm like thing, the worm like alien pod that they plug into, and then on top of that is accessory parts that you clip on around it. So they're basically this, but for the aliens. But that being said, like these are so thin and fragile that, and also Waruder kits, just for a basic kit like the A type and the B type, which is just basically a red version and a blue version, those are also $50 each. So like, so I'm not, and also I'm not an army builder collector. I'm not an army collector kind of person. So like this is enough for me. I just occurred to me I should have not worn a dark gray suit. Maybe that was shirt, dark gray shirt. I got a powered suit with a dark shirt. See my problem? Um, I'm not going to get a ton of these. I might get one more, but beyond that, probably not. But I've shown you pretty much everything that these can do in regards to the two kits. Now, Battle Buffalo, I think it's Bad Buffalo Mark 4 or Mark 6, I don't remember. That can accommodate 6 of these things at one time. Although, Big Power GV can accommodate 2 or more, depending on how you hook it up. Um, does that fit on there? It might, but I'm not going to do that right now. So am I going to get 5 more of these things? Probably not. I might get one more and then call it good. I'm not sure. Um, yeah. Okay, so I know I've wasted enough time, so I need to turn this into its own video, and then I'll get to the other item in a couple of minutes once I've cleaned this up a little bit here. And so with that, this is AV Unit 4A saying thank you for tuning in.